Yeah, morning. Friday, weekend's here, and yeah, I've got a new string to my bow. Well, it's something I've dabbled with for quite a while. It's going to be selling products which are based on aloe vera and sort of bee propolis, and which is sort of like a byproduct of honey. Um, and the way the company's called Forever Living, and yeah, the products are good. Maybe I might have a few question marks about the way they organise their business model, but like I say, the products are good, and I'll leave it at that. I think the idea of it is that you can, you use it as a direct selling thing to build up your own little empire, and I don't think I'll be going down that route, but. Yeah, definitely. If it's good products, they're skincare, they're health supplements, and makeup as well. I really don't know much about the makeup, obviously, but I do know about the skincare and the health supplements. So there's something else you can contact me about if you wish to. I will be in the near future holding a sort of party evening as a presentation to show, yeah, just basically show off what the products are, and also what the business plan is if anyone's like interested in becoming a distributor as well. But that's all I really want to say about that at the moment. But which brings me on to another thing is I've been feeling a bit poo this week, and I wasn't quite sure why. I said about Sunday I woke up and I felt a bit odd, and then I should have gone out on Monday night and I didn't, and the same again last night. I should have gone out, and I sort of knew there's something. I knew I got something in my mouth that didn't feel right. I thought I might have an abscess coming on or something. And when I checked it out, I've actually one of my wisdom teeth is really, really wobbly. And this is the first time I've had a wobbly tooth since I had milk teeth. So I think I am going into a second childhood. You know what I mean? And so I've got to go to the dentist. I rang them up just now and I said it's an emergency and that sort of thing. So, being an emergency, they're going to see me at 11 o'clock on Monday. It's just, well, I'm not dying, isn't it, really? But anyway, which sort of made me think that I'm lucky that I haven't got I really haven't got a problem with dentists. I've got no phobia or no fear about going to the dentist. I mean, I'm not unrealistic. I mean, I know when they say, oh, this might be a bit uncomfortable, it's going to hurt like hell, but or if this might hurt a little bit and it's going to be like sort of Peruvian torture, but you know, I'd rather get it done rather than suffer with with a toothache or a wobbly tooth or whatever. But it sort of made me think about phobias, and I've got a friend who's Stuart, who's so dental phobic or dentist phobic that even if you're sitting in a room and the TV comes on and the dentist drill, like the dentist drill comes on, he can't stay in the room. He has to go, and which is dreadful. And consequently, I mean, I don't think he's got that many teeth in his head anymore now. Plus the fact that I'm sure he won't mind me saying it, he's a heavy smoker, and I don't think people realise that smoking is actually quite as is quite as damaging to your teeth as sugar is, really. And if you think about it, it makes sense. And I mean, phobias are a funny old thing. My mum was phobic about birds. She couldn't, and it was very difficult for her. I mean, sort of things like picnics and that were out of the question because you can't go outside because there might be birds. She couldn't even look at a picture of a bird in a book. I mean, it's dreadful. And I think there needs to be a distinction made between like fear, rational fears and phobias. Like if you're climbing up a ladder and you're climbing quite high, it's fear of falling off is actually quite a rational fear. But a fear of heights or vertigo or whatever is a little bit different to that. I mean, I have suffered from that, and thankfully, since I stopped drinking, I don't anymore. But I think the thing with like that sort of fear is a fear of losing control and almost throwing yourself off the height. You know, and you know, it's something with other phobias. You know, like fear of flying. I mean, yeah, I think most sensible, rational people would be, you know, quite afraid of like a plane crashing or being in a plane crash. But to be afraid of flying to the extent where, like I know a lot of people are, where they, you know, they can't actually sort of go abroad, or if they do go abroad, they've got to go travel by sea or by car. You know, it's very debilitating. Wasn't there a famous footballer who in the 80s or 90s who couldn't fly? That's just suddenly come to me. I'm sure someone will remind me of that. And you know, for my part, I used to have a terrible fear of snakes. I mean, really, really irrational fear of snakes. Even, you know, like I had a girlfriend who had a lizard, and she went round to see some friends, and you know, the friend had like snakes in the vivarium. I couldn't stay in that room. You know, and what cured me of it, or what helped cure me of it, was going to Thailand, because in Thailand there are just, especially like, because I was married married twice to Thai ladies, and when you go up country, especially, you know, there are so many snakes, and in Southeast Asia, you know, the majority of snakes that you encounter are actually venomous. You know, and you know, it is the land of the king cobra. And anyway, yeah, and there's a sort of a way of curing phobias, which is what they call flooding, where you're absolutely, you know, you flood the senses with the thing that someone's afraid of, and the idea is that they become immune to it, which is more or less what happened to me. I mean, I still wouldn't want someone, which did happen to me once, you know, come up behind me and put a python around my neck. I mean, he did it once and I almost jumped out of my skin. But, you know, like now, I mean, I remember I was out for a run one time and seeing a grass snake, like, swimming down this little stream I was running alongside, and I was absolutely fascinated by it. And, you know, so I'm you know, and I think I kind of got to the bottom of why I've got this fear of snakes, because where I live now, it's an area in Cambridge called Yarbury, and years and years and years ago, back in the early 60s, my nan and granddad moved up here. And I used to go for a walk with my granddad along what they used to call the track. And I remember him saying to me, "If you come here on your own, boy," he said, "you've got to be careful. He said, there's a lot of adders here." He said, "And they're poisonous. You know, they can make you very ill." And so I was about 6 at the time, so that went in. And then around about the same time, my nana was telling me stories about like a teacher that she'd had who'd taught in Africa, and you know how they took a photograph of her and her partner sitting on what they thought was a tree, a fallen tree, and it was actually a python that was digesting a cow that it had just eaten. So it's not really surprising that I was afraid of snakes, you know, and because that all went in, you know, at the age of 6, that just went straight in. And it was and it was only when I moved, because I lived in that area myself, and I was out running down the same area, and all this came flooding back to me, and I'd forgotten about it completely, and it's sort of like nearly 50 years, well, over 50 years ago, you know, and I suddenly thought, wow, that was why. You know, because it always kind of baffled me. I thought, well, where did this fear of snakes come from? Because, you know, living in Cambridge, you don't exactly come across a lot of snakes, really, you know. And, you know, it's only when I sort of went to even going to Europe, it's only when I went to Thailand that I started to encounter them. And then they seemed to solve the problem. So I think, you know, if you look inside most people with their phobias, there's probably something like that causes it. But anyway, That's enough for me today, and I hope you have a nice weekend. But I'll be here tomorrow anyway, so I'll speak to you tomorrow. Cheers then. Bye.